I asked you directly yesterday if the president had already decided to fire James Comey when he met with the Deputy Attorney General and Attorney General. And you said no. Also, the Vice President of the United States said directly that the president acted to take the recommendation of the Deputy Attorney General to remove the FBI director. Sean Spicer said directly it was all him, meaning the Deputy Attorney General. Now we learn from the president directly that he had already decided to fire James Comey. So why were so many people giving answers that just weren't correct? Were you guys in the dark? Was the vice president misled again? As happened
I know you'd love to report that we were misled and we want to create.
That weren't true.
Hold on, Jonathan. I let you finish and read off every single one of those statements. So unless you want to trade places, I think it's my turn now. I think it's pretty simple. I hadn't had a chance to have the conversation directly with the president to say. I'd had several conversations with him, but I didn't ask that question directly. Had you already made that decision? I went off of the information that I had when I answered your question. I've since had the conversation with him right before I walked on today, and he laid it out very clearly. He had already made that decision. He'd been thinking about it for months, which I did say yesterday and have said many times since. And Wednesday, I think, was the final straw that pushed him, and the recommendation that he got from the Deputy Attorney General just further solidified his decision. And again, I think reaffirmed that he made the right one.
But was the vice president in the dark too? This is important. Was the vice president in the dark too?
Nobody was in the dark, Jonathan. You want to create this false narrative.
Vice President Pence yesterday said the firing was based on the recommendation of the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General. We know now that that's not true. Was the Vice President misled again, or did he mislead the American people?
I believe I've answered that question. Thank you.
If you have, I don't think I caught it, because the Vice President said yesterday that the President chose to accept and support the decision of the Deputy Attorney General and Attorney General.
He certainly accepted the Deputy Attorney. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he wouldn't still accept his recommendation. I mean, they're on the same page. Like, why are we arguing about the semantics of whether or not he accepted it? They agreed. I mean, I'm not sure how he didn't accept the Deputy Attorney General's recommendation when they agreed with one another.
Would you say, based on the experience that you and Sean and this communications office had Tuesday and Wednesday, that you were given all of the best information to relay to the American public through us, and your job is to relay that information to the American public, we're only intermediaries, about what happened with this firing and the rationale for it?
Intermediaries. You seem to take a much more proactive approach most of the time, but I'll go with intermediaries for today. Look, I think we were absolutely given the information that we could have at that time. It was a quick-moving process. We took the information we had as best we have it and got it out to the American people as quickly as we could.
And would you say that that information was accurate then, or is more accurate now?
I would say that after having a conversation with the president, you don't get much more accurate than that.
And so by that standard, should reporters and the country essentially wait for a pronouncement from the president before believing that which is stated on his behalf by the White House communications staff?
Look, Major, I'm not going to get in a back and forth that we have to have like a direct quote every single time. In this process, I gave you the best information I had at the moment. I still don't think that it contradicts the president's decision. You guys want to get lost in the process.
I don't believe asking you a question and getting an answer is lost in the process, Sarah, with all respect.
Yeah, and I'm answering those questions. It's very simple. The president decided to fire Director Comey. Nobody else gets to make that decision, and he made it. He stands by it, as do the rest of us.
Was it a mistake for the White House to try to pin the decision to fire James Comey on Rod Rosenstein?
I don't think there was ever an attempt to pin the decision on the Deputy Attorney General. Look, I think his recommendation, again, it was extremely clear. The president, though, makes the decision. The buck stops with him. Nobody's ever tried to say that this wasn't the president's decision, that he wasn't the one that carried it out, and to try to, I think, conflate those things is just not what took place.